all too familiar scene in America. Another deadly school shooting, this time at a private Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee. Guns are now the leading cause of death for children between the ages of 1 and 19 in America.
Gun safety is part and parcel of true reproductive justice.
Being able to raise your children free from gun violence is a Planned Parenthood issue because it all comes back to personal sovereignty and bodily autonomy and being able to live a healthy life free from violence in whatever form that takes.
Grief turned to anger today in Nashville. Thousands of protesters descended on the state capitol to demand action on gun reform.
All of our staff were heavily invested in raising our voice around the tragedy. People came to us because I think they see that we are an organizing force.
On the 30th, a lot of nonprofit partners in Nashville got together to do a rally at the Capitol. These were children's lives lost, and we needed to see action around gun control, and no action was being taken. Students from March for Our Lives, also Gen Z for Change, got together and sort of led the student response.
Students have walked out from school today to take a stand against gun violence. This is through March for Our Lives. Planned Parenthood stands in solidarity with this movement.
Very early in the morning, 7:30, people were already convening, and I led on the live feed, and people followed us online to know what was going on. I was able to see the rally that was at Legislative Plaza move into the Capitol, onto the Capitol steps, go into the Capitol Rotunda, seeing the action there, going into the House side before they started convening.
I was invited to be part of this amazing group that was honored on the floor of the Senate for Women's History Month. And when we arrived that day, by that point, thousands of school children had arrived and they were making their voices heard. And it was heartbreaking to stand in the Senate and hear them outside the doors singing "Stand By Me."
The students were the ones who called upon representatives to, say something in the House session that was happening. And that's when the Tennessee Three, Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson, took to the well in the House.
No action, no peace! No action, no peace! No action, no peace! No action, no peace!
We went to the well to listen to the 7,000 voices of people who were there outside the doors asking for change, primarily children and teenagers. Going to the well was us taking our claim to the First Amendment right to speak up and to advocate for what we know to be right in our hearts and in our minds and in our spirits after being silenced.
Witnessing that moment, I think all of us were just thinking, finally, because this silence is killing us, literally. Never in our minds would we think that that would be grounds for expulsion. And then we started hearing rumors of expulsion that very same day.
They're kicking us off committees. They're threatening to take a vote to expel us today. Our member ID badges have been shut off. Our representative ID badges have been shut off.
Gloria and Justin had been given notice that they were going to be kicked off the committee. We knew their keys had already been turned off. That made me feel absolutely sick because I could see the writing on the wall. We started mobilizing as quickly as possible with every muscle we could possibly muster.
It was a coordinated effort to see to it that they were able to get inside Cordell Hall to even be on the committee meeting. We were one of the only nonprofits who were live streaming in the committee meeting that day because there's something so powerful about if you are somebody who's not able to be in the room, to having that first-hand account of what is happening when your rights are being stripped away from you.
I was helping explain to folks online, this is what's going on. Both Gloria and Justin were trying to hold their seat and they basically got shut down. And that was when Julie started disrupting.
Let her speak.
I'm a constituent of Justin Jones, and the reality of what this meant, my voice as a Tennessean was no longer represented in the people's house. And so I spoke up.
That's my representative. I recognize him.
Oh, That's a good one. I held their phone and mine to kind of document the whole thing, and the state troopers took them out.
That's my representative. Let him speak. Let him get his job. Y'all work for the people.
Can I say something before y'all kick us out?
Most of us are here because we object to our representatives that have stood up for us in the light of this mass shooting. We're all in shock. And when they stand up and try to help us.
Our children are dying, and these people sit up here and want to go about business as usual. It can't be business as usual anymore. Our kids can't go to school. What is wrong with you people? You're my representative. I'll be at your door.
They did what we asked them to, and I thank them.
I got kicked out of the committee meeting, and that was all on live. And we had people commenting on the Instagram live being like, where do I need to be? Like, tell me where to go. It was a community effort of immediate, rapid response in a way that I know I've never seen.
People need to show up today at 4 o'clock, take up seats in the gallery.
We came back for the full House session, and that's where the resolutions were introduced for expulsion of the Tennessee Three. None of us really knew what was going to happen, but I think all of us in there were fully prepared for the worst because they had lined the entire rotunda and gallery with state troopers. The tensions were so palpable.
And so in that moment, Julie and I were fully prepared to start chanting, help people get the courage to also raise their voice. And at one point, I looked at Julie and I said, I don't think we're going to have to lead anything.
You have that moment, which we caught on live, where the 3 resolutions are filed and the gallery just erupts. When people started yelling fascists, they, in one word, summed up what it's felt like for Planned Parenthood at the legislature for the last decade. This was the first time I saw on the House floor absolute fear in the eyes of these legislators. They didn't understand really what they had started. For them to say the votes aren't actually going to happen until the next House session, in my mind, that was really dumb of them because they just gave us more time to plan and mobilize, and that's exactly what we did.